How's everybody? Wow. How's everybody doing tonight? Just do something super quick. Guess I was nostalgic jumping into 2022. Let me check on my stream health. Let's let that get to rolling. So let's get started. Like I said, I was just saw this article. Yeah, because I remember when BlackBerry was the rage of everything, and there was a billion people using it, and they actually, you buy them when you get a nickname for a product. So let me see. Gonna welcome everybody. You know how I roll. If you got any questions, just throw them in the chat. What, Mark? Come on, man. You're not nostalgic? Come on. Happy New Year. What you mean, Mark Marvelous? Man, that was one of the best phones, man. In 2008, it was called a Crackberry. We about to just touch on it real quick. I don't know, I guess the New Year, and I remember when that was the phone. But you're right, it had a good run, Mark. It had a good run. But come on, we need to tip his hat. All good, helmet. Don't forget class tomorrow, helmet. Don't forget class tomorrow. Here you see BlackBerry from 1996. And they became popular in the early 2000s, right? So those are in the my thumbnail. Those are all the phones. And I never owned a BlackBerry though. I was close to getting one. BP pen was the ish back in the day. True, true, true. So yeah, let's just kind of go through it. Touch on a few things. I was gonna just kind of flow through the Wikipedia real quick. Like I said, I just remember when it was the ish back then, and all the managers definitely had a BlackBerry, and they be in the meeting just clicking. So, like I said, I just want to hit it. Was that makes me know I'm getting old now. I'm like, man, the BlackBerry started in 1996. Like I said, it was hitting in the mid 2000s. So, once again, if you got any questions, just throw them in the box and we can chit chat. Like I said, I was gonna do just something short. Happy New Year. Monday, I'm gonna talk about my personal New Year's resolution. Number one is to lose some weight. Number two, of course, we're gonna talk about future interviews, channels, the programming stuff we're gonna do, and just different things for the channel. I think I'm gonna do that Monday, and I do an AWS class on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time if you want to join. So let's just talk about the CNET article. Just kind of go over. Like I said, I just remember when it was the ish. I'm dropping frames on my OBS. My phone still look like it's working. So let's hit the article, and we'll talk a little historical things about BlackBerry. BlackBerry to end support for its classic phones on January 4th. The old school BlackBerry you are clinging to will no longer be able to make calls or send texts and will lose 911 functionality. I think I'm like Mark. I didn't even know they were still had Blackberries out like that. I know they had a newer phones. They were trying to make a comeback. And to be honest, I think their OS is still one of the most secured OSs. I was surprised nobody bought a part of their OS and just kind of just moved it over there because most presidents actually used BlackBerry because it was still one of the most secure phones when you're talking about nation states hacking. Shout out to she stole my thunder. I've been reading with her, catching up with her. Shout out to Hellman. I've been checking his videos, so it's all good. So once again, BlackBerry phones have been declared dead many times over since falling from the heights of their popularity more than a decade ago. But next month, the company will finally end service for its legacy devices. I was gonna say legendary. Starting January 4th, running BlackBerry 10 and BlackBerry 7.1 software earlier will no longer be work reliable functions on the carrier network or even over Wi-Fi. The company said in the support FAQ, this means the phone will no longer be able to use data, make phone calls, send text message, or make 911 calls. To be clear, the BlackBerry phone impacted our old BlackBerry 10, the last version of the mobile OS by RIM, came out in 2013. RIM discontinued the BlackBerry line in 2016 and shifted its focus to, like we talked about, security software under the name BlackBerry Limited. In 2016, the Chinese manufacturer TCL picked up the licenses for the BlackBerry mobile brand and released BlackBerry Key 1 and BlackBerry Key 2. These phones run on Android and aren't impacted by the end of service for the legacy BlackBerry software and services. TCL, however, stopped making BlackBerry phones in 2020 and said it would support the device until August of 2022. Security startup Onward Mobility then picked up the BlackBerry mobile brand, saying it will release a new 5G BlackBerry Android phone in the first half of 2021. The phone is yet to materialize. Right. This is the one I thought. It's an old article I found. It was actually August 23, 2006, right? That's when they were calling it a crackberry addiction because I knew executives, they would never put down their BlackBerry. So it was like an addiction. They'd be on flights, they'd be in cabs, they'd be in meetings, and that click sound, that keyboard was annoying. We're going to talk about two is innovation, right? I put under my thumb that innovation wins, creative destruction. We're going to read the articles because when Apple came through, it destroyed everybody, right? So when Apple came through, their phone was just so much better and innovative, especially with their app store. You could do so much more. So that's what we talk about on this channel too. You got to get on the next trends to get the bag to make sure you don't disappear. Oh, my brother Black Heights in there. Everybody go check him out, man. He got me thinking a little differently about salaries. So everybody go check his channel. I don't know. He's trying to get to 10K. Definitely somebody I found. BlackBerry was my favorite damn January. It's a funeral, man. I put home going in there, Black Heights. Thanks for coming by. So yeah, he remembered in 2006. Everybody had a BlackBerry, man. It was just unbelievable. I mean, like I said, it was just so hot. I'm trying to think of Apple's iPhone probably got hotter, but I can't remember a technology just got as hot as the BlackBerry, like I said. And I'll let Black Heights chime in because I know he's in that executive level, and but like all executives I know had them. Let's see. Glad to hear you're enjoying those lives and using them as an opportunity to read. All facts. And I'm a big Game of Thrones. I actually like just skimming the book because Game of Thrones can be just brutal in certain sections. She stole my thunder, so I really enjoy that. Fantasy Careers Time, my BB10. I think we should hold a live feud on the fourth for the BB10. Facts out. Love the Blackberry, big bro. Yeah, that was it, man. But two is like Black Heights talks about. You got to stay with the trends and the new things. Because I know BlackBerry programmers were making 100K and they just kind of disappeared overnight. Apple came out and BlackBerry just it was just a slow painful decline in salaries and technology. So if you didn't make that leap to something new like Android, like I said, I know a couple of BlackBerry programs. They just kind of disappeared. Man. They couldn't get with the new technology, and it just kind of just fade off. Make those technology leap. So this article is in August 23, 2006. Crackberry addiction, the lure of wireless devices is creating addiction among email users, with experts comparing their behavior to that of a drug or alcohol abuser. I was 100% addicted to my BlackBerry, said Rick Rhino, general manager of the Sheraton Chicago. Like you said, they were just emailing. That was one of the main functions of a BlackBerry is that email function, and people just email, right? Because that's before text really got going, email. Like that was the what's up, Luscious? The main thing from a BlackBerry. He said he runs a 1,200 room hotel. He uses used to be on this BlackBerry literally night and day. He would actually answer my emails at 2 o'clock in the morning. To be doing Uber, he'd be doing emails and brushing his teeth. He would write emails while having dinner with his wife. She tried to talk to him at the table. While some people may jokingly refer to it as crackberry, experts said the potential to develop an addiction to these kind of communication devices is real because they make people feel disconnected, which also happens with alcohol, drug abuse, and gambling. The sad part about it is, I think people feel like they're addicted to their current Apple phone or Android phone. I mean, people very rarely puts down their phones. I mean, back then they think it was a problem. I just think it's part of life, man. Um, like I said, I do cybersecurity, so I've been calling in the middle of the night for breaches and stuff. So I always sit with my phone, right by my head, because I might need to log on and check something out. So I just think that addiction, they said it was a problem. It's just part of life. I mean, I seen my god kids in the same room, they text each other. They don't even talk. I'm like, y'all sitting on the couch. Why just talk right next to them? So I think that's just most generation. Shout out to Citizen Lou. Go check him out. Go to subscribe to his channel. I'm sure we're gonna be collabing because most of his New Year's resolution. I think I'm gonna do Python. I'm gonna do some Java. You probably doing C Sharp. I'm definitely doing AWS. So I'm sure we'll collab. Trying to get Lou to 1,000. So go check him out. Shout out to the grit. Yeah, I love the gritty parts of Game of Thrones. There's about four. I don't want to mess it up. Red Wedding and a couple other things in there. The series just was just brutal for that. Once the iPhone came out, I was like, I still love BlackBerry, but once those had, yeah, those apps were that was the game changer from Apple when they let third party put apps. Then they made the app free because people don't realize in the old days you had to pay for GPS, right? You could get that on Google, but just most of their apps are free, and they got stunning apps that people spend Garmin. They just went out of business because you can't beat Google Maps, and there's just so many apps that people put out free thinking you're gonna upgrade. Yeah, that's these games, app, music, and maps. I mean, like you said, that's free. So people just don't know how that just changed the game from the App Store, and then Android came out. But from a security perspective, I think Apple just much better on security because obviously they running a Linux OS underneath. So from a security perspective, but like I said, I wanted to go through a couple of these BlackBerry because like I said, I was probably in my 30s, just started making real money at the height about 2006, 2007, and BlackBerry was just balling out. But once again, I think the adrenaline high, people who use technology constantly from trying to balance their BlackBerry cell phones. Like I said, now I think we just engage a part of that life. That's just you're addicted to your phone and you don't want to put it out. I was laughing because they were like, "Oh, if you get a shot, they're gonna track you." I'm like, "Dude, you putting down your phone? They track you through your phone." So I'm like, "Dude, you already connected through your back." Started back then, the BlackBerry. Now it's just common where people are addicted to phones. To make time for gadgets, some users would give up time with their family. Gail Porter said of Rutgers, they would give up getting together with their friends. They give up taking care of themselves. She was researching a paper that argues that business could be sued by employees who feel they're encouraged or forced to stay connected 24 hours a day. There's a desire to want to point fingers. He also pointed out the programs that once again the Sheridan manager. And two is I'm thinking now that we're actually at which is a totally different conversation. Now that we're remote, I feel like I'm on a computer longer, right? Because I roll out the bed, brush my teeth, and I just start working, right? And a lot of times I just kind of work over because I'm single now, so I just have my laptop in my office like I'm in now, and I just pop in here and I've been trying to like Citizen Lou said, get my YouTube going a little stronger. So I've been working on my videos and stuff. So I just feel like we're more connected now. But like I said, I think that definitely is a bad thing. I think sometimes we need to go outside, get air, get disconnected. Just enjoy life a little more. So let's look at the BlackBerry Wikipedia and just kind of flow through super quick. Like I said, I'm not gonna be long. I was just surprised. I guess I was not surprised that it's BlackBerry's time. Like Black Height said, when they came out with the App Store, it was over with. And we always talk about that in technology, right? It's creative destruction. There's going to be new things new technology jumps, mainframe, client server, cloud, web apps. There's just so many things now that you just got to stay up with technology, right? So it's not a bad thing. So let's talk about the history. It's 1984, 2001. They said it was the early years. It was founded in 1984 by Mark Lazarus and Doug. Both was engineering students at the University of Waterloo. The other was an engineering student at University of Windsor. So I think both of those are Canada. Shout out to She Stole My Thunder. RIM was became the first wireless data technology in North America. This first company outside Scandinavia to connect to products. Motrix wireless packet switching. That in 1995, RIM introduced the DIS6 film clear reader and introduced the first mobile protocol converter. Uh, so the venture Canadian fund led the first round, invested 5 million, proceeding used to complete the development of RIM's two-way pager and hardware. Total cost 30 million in pre-IPO. Right, so they came on the market, they got their money. They were got to running. 1995, 1990, RIM introduced the BlackBerry 850 pager. I think that's one of the first ones I saw. Because everybody's laughing at me. I graduated college in 1990, so that's about my ninth year in the game. I started seeing BlackBerry kind of going my 10 years when I was out there, moving and shaking. 2001 to 2011, global expansion and competition. RIM soon began to introduce BlackBerry devices aimed toward the consumer market. The first BlackBerry phone included multimedia features such as a camera. I forgot they had a camera in the BlackBerry, but obviously it was super innovative. It was out in front, like we said. A lot of people had them, so like I said, it was one of the watershed marks in technology. I think when you talk about phones and phone actually becoming computer devices, especially for businesses, right? If the company continued to grow worldwide, investors and media became increasingly alarmed by the company's abilities to compete with devices from rival mobile operating system, iOS and Android came out. CNN cited BlackBerry as one of the six dangerous United States to Canadian company brands. Analysts was worried about the strategic direction of the company. Right, that's when Apple started coming out really, and Android started coming out. Right. Period competition of Blackberries with smartphones, Android and Apple iPhones for a number of years. The BlackBerry was the leading smartphone market in the United States. The arrival of, like we talked about, Apple iPhone and later Google Android platforms caused a slowdown in BlackBerry and decline in sales in some markets, notably the United States. When Apple iPhone was introduced in 2007, oh my God, time went by quick. It's 2022, 2007. It generated a substantial media with numerous media outlets calling it a BlackBerry killer. Right, and that's one thing Apple did and Steve Jobs did, and I'm finally learning that out as we come. Their phone was so much easier to use. It's his packaging of the phone, right, and how easy to use with the app just was just so enticing, right? So they just kind of slowly, like I said, BlackBerry was still on the old keyboard. They kind of went to the smooth glass with the phones with the bigger screens, and like I said, it's done and over with. So we'll pour a little liquor out for BlackBerry. 2011, 2015, strategic changes. The slow growth prompted the company to undertake layoff of 2,000 employees in 2011. The company BlackBerry International Service suffered a massive outage, impacting millions of customers. The outage embarrassing occurred as Apple prepared to launch the iPhone 4S, causing fears of mass defection from that release. Right, so then they try to switch from 2015 to present. They try to go more software. Once again, I still think their security from mobile software is still better than Apple's. Right, from that. Like I said, the presidents, most of the presidents, they get Blackberries because they trust their security more. They try to buy companies. They did strategic acquisitions, hardware licensing and partnerships. They had a lot of patents in the industry. Right, so a lot of companies try to buy them up, and they were buying their patents out. Go outside, but there are too many people and not nearly enough books. Facts. Black Heights Advanced Europe. I got Boots get it. Yeah, I can remember there being a scandal with Blackberries in a Canadian company. True. 2007. No, I'm not that old. I refuse to believe that. Came out in 2017. I know I'm like 2007. I remember like it was yesterday. Cybersecurity consulting in February 2016. BlackBerry acquired United Kingdom-based firm Encryption with the intention of branching out into security consulting. It later released the BlackBerry Shield and IT risk assessment programs for corporate clients. BlackBerry cybersecurity division partnered with Allied Company Holdings, a global reinsurance. The agreement with BlackBerry Shield self-assessment tool into a lot of cyber risk solution. Yeah, because I remember hearing a lot about them. Once again, I think their mobile software is still, from a security perspective, still one of the top ones. Shout out to OG Patrice. Like I said, I just remember when BlackBerry was the ish and it came out and dominated. So, like I said, I got one more article. I just want to touch it. I guess with it being a new year and a new me, I was like, oh my God, that seems like yesterday. Like you said, she saw my thunder 2007. I'm like, oh my God. Like you said, that's one thing too. Like, once again, we talk about creative destruction and companies are going to come and go. You just got to make sure you're staying on top of it. Getting on the new trends so you can stay relevant and not disappear like BlackBerry. But this is one in the middle, like when they were having problems in 2012. So we're just gonna skim through this real quick and kind of wrap it up. Like I said, I just was just a little reminiscent on BlackBerry, and like I said, I remember I was in my heyday when I was in. I just started getting into the game good, and shout out to Black Heights trying to get the bag in 2007. So um, research in motion, BlackBerry phone pioneer wireless email no longer is holding commanding heights in the smartphone industry. Android, iOS, and even Windows Phone gaining market share. The Waterloo Arterial Companies finds itself in a battle for relevancy. The company has been especially hard hit for the once innovative realm, but it may be at a turning point, or like this says, beginning of the end. If it was 2012, it was the beginning of an end, right? So, but that's cool. Once again, it came in and did its thing. So, reckoning in Waterloo, Apple's iPads similarly refined the markets for tablets, computers, then it dominated the host of Android powered competitors following in its wake. Apple's already released the iPad 2 by the time the RIM offered a response. The tablet Lizera held in hand. It represents a bold transition, replacing aging OS from the QNX, which it acquired in 2010. So once again, they didn't stay innovative. Apple was off and running, and really still is off and running. Apple, a lot of people think it's getting old. This hasn't come out with anything super innovative really since Steve Jobs passed. So I'm trying to think what they came out with. Really, they just kind of really doing stuff. Hi, Professor Black Eye, so I'm late for the night class. No, we just reminiscing on the passing of BlackBerry. No class. See you to class tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going over pricing and stuff on AWS. Is the deal still issuing Blackberries? No, I don't think they're still issuing Blackberries. But if you look, I think the last two presidents, I think, had Blackberries. If you do research, because I still think the government can control the security better on a BlackBerry, which is weird. Um, let's see. Can I move to problems in terms of security? Going back to the BlackBerry article when they were winding down, at the word of security, Lazard, his Bradford, he tilted his head and shifted in his chair. Off-screen PR voice causes first. It's not a security. We have no security problems, right? So now people were trying to say, does BlackBerry have a security problem? Remember, this is I think it's 20. Let's see when this was. I just said it. 2012, right? So Apple's dominating. Android is out there dominating for people they don't like Apple. So then either Windows Phone came out, which I thought was pretty good. So everybody's, they're not innovating, they're getting attacked. And like you said, this was beginning to the end. So people question their security. Uh, Timeline of playbook in early 2010s, despite declarations by Mike Lazard, the market and the use case for the tablet is difficult to judge. See, they missed the tablet, right? I love my tablet. I I like it. because I'm old and it's a bigger screen. So if I'm just surfing, I don't want to surf on my phone. I usually surf on my tablet, right? It's bigger. They missed the whole tablet market, right? The company said it teased details with price and specs for 500 and faster than the iPad. Alongside Adobe, Kevin Lynch offered the Adobe Max 20 conference. So this is once again just the downslide of BlackBerry. They had so many presidents. Yeah, presidents, and they just couldn't get on the next phase. But that usually happen is you look at the mainframe. There's still a lot of mainframes, but when the mini computers came out, IBM didn't make the jump. Then client server came out. Right now we to the cloud, and there's a lot of companies. I remember Oracle laughed at the cloud. He said it wasn't a viable take on it. Right. So people are going to miss those technology jumps and those technologies and innovations. Right. So one thing I try to do, and a lot of people on here does, JM, Citizens Lou, Black Heights, um, just everybody in the tech space, Tech G, Keep It Techie. Everybody, you just try to stay abreast of the new technology so you don't end up like BlackBerry, right? You're on top. I love that picture right there. That was me, man. He got on his New Balances, right? So you could tell it's all because the monitors aren't any color, right? So that just lets you know how quick technology change and how you move and how you be look. So look at those monitors in the back and look at those rims phones in the front, right? Those monitors probably 15 pounds. And it's just black and white. Looks like you paying pound. What's up, NC worker? Glad you could make it. So this is super short. I was just reminiscing about the BlackBerry slash Crackberry and how quick, like she stole my thunder, came out in 2007 ish. Well, it came out before that, but it really hit around 2007. It just came and went, kind of like 2021, right? So if you look at those monitors, look at the top there in Kmart. So they were selling the rims in Kmart. Like I said, and Black Heights and She Stole My Thunder, they were sold around and everybody had one, right? Because the email part of that was specifically set up for business, right? You needed it. It was business focused, and that was the way to communicate, right? That's pre-text, pre-teams, right? Nobody was really collaborating. Your collaboration was sending an email between your email chain and business, right? So that's one of the first, I would say, business productivity thing that came from a mobile device by far, right? Then that legitimizes phones. So when Apple came out with a much better phone, um, when you put the apps on, it was just pre-made for business, right? Everybody was used to using a BlackBerry, so that just took it up a notch. So a quick timeline: 1984 it was founded. First contract they got from was 600,000 for General Motors. Legacy's Wireless Data Technologies decides to put the company future on it. The first nationwide public wireless data technology in North America, right? Because people really wasn't doing phones and business like that, right? So RIM introduced a file kilo reader. Sales in 1992 was at $1 million. I mean, in 92, $1 million was a lot of money. WIM introduced the first wireless point of sale terminal. Like I said, they had a lot of innovations, like I said, that kind of helped that market. The BlackBerry in 1995 8050 wireless handheld PDA. Like I said, they were just 2022 step down as CEO. Uh, BlackBerry app worldwide subscribers base reached 36 million. 2011, the playbook debuts mixed reviews, reached 75 million products. Right, so that just lets you know when you're moving 75 million have 75 million subscribers, and you're moving 36 million phones, probably 50 million around 2011. That's a huge base. But once again, when Apple came out, they just slowly just started chipping away at that base and just took over the market. So that's what, like we talked about, Got to stay innovative. Got to stay on top of your game. Every time you say you said I get one more. Shout out for that. I might have to take a little drink on that one. I see stuff I thought I like 2007. I'm like, man, I forget I'm 50 though. But yeah, it's crazy. Like 2007, it's crazy. That's their tablets right there. That's Apple's tablets. So, and if you look at Apple tablets back then, it looks um, antiquated, but that lets you know how technology got better, screens got better. And the cool thing is, Moore's law. Everything gets quicker and cheaper, right? What every 18 months to 2 years. So at the top is Apple's tablets, right? It's not in color; it's in black and gray. They got the stylus pen, which for some reason I always hated. What's up, Wally? Salute. So then at the bottom you see the rim. Look at that. That looks like a brick. If you look at the rim type, it looks like a pager almost, right? Interactive pager only hinted that it was considered the device killer featuring email, right? And everybody had them, right? You just clicking on them and sending an email, right? Email still to this day, people don't realize is a killer app, right? I was at DOD and our email went down. We figured out it's hard to do business without email. So what's your backup plan if your email goes down, right? It doesn't happen very often, but it does. So if you look at that RIM device, it's a pager slash, you know, text, that you can send email with. Then here it got a little better. This was the killer one with the letters right there. I used to see people in the meetings with that one. That was the kind of the game changer. That's when they were moving 50 million, 7 million units. Amazon, holy so yeah, that's the one I used to see when I first kind of got in the game. That's the one you see all the executives up in the meeting and they just sending emails out constantly, right? And you type in, you can get your little letter. No, actually, that's similar to a two-way page. That's the BlackBerry where you would send an email. It's so you actually send emails, so it kind of worked like a two-way page, but you can actually do emails on that Gray Fox, and that's when the BlackBerry was at its height with executives, right? So that was interesting too. And here's if you look over to the right, that's you can see them getting better and better, and like I said, in the BlackBerry, I think 720 when it had all the little apps in it, I think that's when it really, really took off, right? Like I said, I'm showing my age. I didn't have one. I wasn't executive. I think I had my flip phone trying to get to, shows a picture of a brick cell phone in a car phone. I, I will, Gray Fox. So at the end, I show everybody my bag phone. But so yeah, if you can see it, you can see it's innovative. Because after the BlackBerry 6770, if you look at the 7250, the screen's in color, right? So you can see they're kind of innovating. But once again, when that Apple One came out, they kind of like you said took it off the box. It was over with. New player in town, right? Took all the market share. Steve Jobs was doing his thing. He was still alive, so. If you look for the rest of the BlackBerry 71T, BlackBerry Pearl, BlackBerry 7, that's when they were trying to get more similar to the iPhone. I believe Android's out now too, busting in market share. But you can see people still love their Blackberries. Like I said, it was just kind of like a slowly decline, but you can still see them trying to innovate. Last two, BlackBerry 8700, 8800. The curve was kind of cute, BlackBerry curve, but by the time you there, it's over with. You can see Apple's gonna kill the high end game, the people with money. Then Android is gonna kill in the low end, right? So those two was just gonna take. Then the diehard Windows phones that Bill Gates and Obama tried, they were going to pick up the rest of the crumbs. So there was just really no room for BlackBerry. Like I said, they didn't innovate. They were off. Like I said, the iPhone, we know what it's about. It kills it. Between Steve Jobs and I can't even think of the current president name, right? With the logistics, they just dominated the market. Then, like I said, the Android came up and just kind of picked up the low end market and the people that didn't want to be super cool with iPhone. They took that market up, and then it was over with. Like I said, and then iPhone picked the crumbs up. All these devices are since 2000, right? Yeah, the bottom was are since 2000. Gray Fox. Um, BlackBerry tried to stay in the game. A couple people try to license their software. Um, so yeah, I think the bottom two I think are after two. I need to look it up. I want to say 2010. They were still trying to do something, but it was kind of much. It was over with. They had their time. They come and go. Um, like I said, their phone system failed in New York and DC on 9/11. It was RIM's network that provided the backup communication. Yeah, you can't have your national disaster and your networking coming down, right? Especially a big company like that. You got to have some kind of disaster recovery or some other function. So if your network goes down, I say that, and AWS been struggling a little bit the last couple months. So new competitors waited on the horizon, one that would redefine the software phone industry. So, like I said, this came in. This was January 9, 2007. Customer flare. Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone, saying every once in a while a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. The weird thing about it is a shout out to Steve Jobs is the iPhone was out, the stylus was out, all that technology was out. I want to say 10 years before Apple got it. They just put it together and made it so easy to use that they dominated. Our iPhones is uh, an iPhone is an iPod with the phone capability. That's true. That's true, Gray Fox. But that's one thing it took me a while to figure out is the form factor and how it looks and how you use it. Sometimes is more important than the abilities of the phone because if it's ease of use and people believe it's technology savvy, right? I've seen websites where they look good, but the back end didn't work, but the people were enamored with how well it looked, right? So form and aesthetics sometimes, not sometimes plays a huge part in it because people assume that the form and aesthetics is technology sound, right? And it's a technology upgrade when the back end could be crap, but people love the aesthetics, and that's one thing Steve Jobs mastered in the iPhone. And this gets a lot of people too, and I got to make sure it doesn't get to me sometime. RIM was a victim of its own success. It could not simply abandon its customer base, nor could it easily update its aging operating system. Meaning sometimes you get stuck on your current skills because it treats you well. You get paid well, but you could be missing out on the next jump of technology in the next bag, right? So you got to be willing to learn. Like I've done Oracle for 20 years, and I made a crap load of money on it. But now it's time for me to get deeper in AWS, start programming more in Java. It's called an SRE, Site Reliability Engineer, right? So I think that's going to be my next jump of what I need to do, to stay relevant in this industry. So once again, it was a victim of its own success. It had too many customers. It was scared to abandon them, and it couldn't easily update its operating system because it had 75 million devices on it, right? So you can't just turn your back on 75 million, but you needed to cut the cord and make a technology leap. It's gonna hurt and you're gonna lose some people, but you be in the next technology. They didn't want to do it for us. Fear they're gonna lose their customers. If you don't make that leap, you're gonna lose your customers, right? So it's kind of a catch 22. Shout out to Steve Ballmer from Microsoft. Right now, we're selling millions and millions and millions of phones a year. Apple is selling zero phones a year, right? So that's what RIM was saying, right? Apple ignored RIM's self-imposed limitations, produced an iPhone with less than stellar battery life, and gobbled up bandwidth. Network utilization was a carrier problem, not Apple's problem. And it best customers would tolerate a short battery life because the phone could do so much more. Right, and that's sometimes what people have to do is you don't have to be perfect. Apple's first phone, like they said, was The battery life was short. The carriers had some problems with bandwidth. Apple said that's the carrier's problem, and they produced it, right? Because now I think people, which I'm not a fan of, they understand you're going to have small technology problems and you're going to iterate up, right? So what people do now is they give you production devices that you're they're testing them on you, right? You're gonna work the bugs out and they're gonna get better, but you buying stuff that I think ain't technology sound yet, right? They just assume you're gonna accept it and you're gonna grow with them and you're gonna assume that there's gonna be problems with it, right? Especially if it's 1.0, I think people understand, right, that there's a problem with that. So that's I think that's something, especially in the United States, we came and stuff to do. Why didn't RIM make a phone that iOS was Android compatible? Like they just was saying, they had 75 million people, Gray Fox, on their technology network, and they were scared to. It was old, so they were having trouble making it iOS or Android compatible, and they actually thought their network was better than them. So by the time they figured out it wasn't better than them, it was probably too late. It was too late. The Apple and Android gobbled up the market share. And when they, by the time they came out with those phones, they did Great Fox, but it was too late. Nobody wanted to deal with those phones, especially younger people. They thought they were old and antiquated. They didn't think they were cool, right? Because their parents was using it, right? It's fair to say the iPhone blindsided RIM as it did Nokia, Palm, and Microsoft, right? The crazy thing is RIM was out, Nikhil was out, Palm and Microsoft had phones before before the iPhone came out. iPhone made a better phone, right? And a better technology, a better look, and a better user feel. So once again, shout out to Apple. They just iterate over top of you. They say, okay, you got your phones. Your phones aren't cool. Your phones aren't hip. I'm gonna give you something, cool to use. Like you said, BlackBerry no longer stood out for cutting edge technology. Once again, by the time they did it, Gray Fox, it was too late. They were considered old and antiquated, and once again, Apple just shook the whole market up. So by the time Apple came and changed the whole game out, it was too late. Um, and the truth is, that's why you got to once again innovate, try new stuff, and make that technology leap. You might hurt financially for a while, but if you don't make that leap, and a lot of people quick jump off target is that's what Mark Zuckerberg is doing with Web 3.0 is the metaverse. They're saying this is the next technology leap, and we're going to spend $10 billion to make sure we on the next technology leap, and we win as Facebook, right? Because if you look throughout history, when the next version of something big comes out, the company like RIM doesn't dominate the next leap of that, right? So it was MySpace, Facebook. Now who's going to dominate Web 3.0? Is it Metaverse, which is Facebook? Apple said they're coming out with their Metaverse. IBM's coming out with a Metaverse. Who's going to dominate Web 3.0, right? So those companies are spending money so they don't they won't become the next RIM and miss out on the next technology leap. We are no longer a company that's innovative and energetic. We're drowning in paperwork, right? So once again, when you get big and you become a monolith, that's the same thing happened to IBM. IBM dominated mainframe, but when you came out to the mini computers, the client servers, IBM didn't dominate that market, right? But whoever dominates that market never makes the next jump to dominate the market, right? It's like the Soviet Union. Everybody's pretending to work. Now, they done laid off people. They're out. Everybody's just kind of riding out. Like if you at a certain age, you're just trying to get to retirement, right? And trying to get to your stock option, right? So that's normal. Like I said, when you winding out. And the sad part of it, if you're young and you technology savvy, you're gonna jump to a new company. If you're old and you're riding out, you're trying to ride it out till you get to retirement, or you're trying to get your last couple of paychecks so you figure out what you're gonna do, right? So we want to make sure we're not into the latter part, right? Let's see. iPhone on. And the rest they say is history facts. It's over with. Form and function. Yeah, I'm learning. about the former folks. Why didn't RIM make a phone that was out? Yeah, it was too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Greg Fox. I think augmented reality's next with metaverse. Part that's gonna be machine learning and artificial intelligence. Right. I think the machine learning is as you in the metaverse, it's gonna map what you're doing. It's gonna kind of figure out how you learn and how you like things to be shown to you. And from then the augmented reality, right, is you're gonna have those VR goggles. So you're gonna be in the metaverse, and sometime the metaverse is gonna be in the real world. Like if you looked at Mark Zuckerberg's kind of little keynote speech. She actually had graffiti on the wall. The wall was real, but the graffiti was augmented reality. Where if you clicked on your goggles, the graffiti actually came around you, right? And you could look at inside. He actually had pictures inside the graffiti and the art. You can actually play NFT or Bitcoin to actually watch the graffiti more because as you was watching it, it was disappearing, right? So not yet, JM. That's part, and I'm gonna talk about that Monday. That's part of my New Year's resolution to get a Discord server. Um, to kind of see that I might actually partner with Women in Linux because they got a Discord server with 1,000 things. I might just get a channel on those, JM. I'm trying to figure that out in 2022. There it is. They just need to stop over promising and under delivering because RIM kept saying they had the next phone, they had the secure operating system, hang with us, but that's what most people do. You know, you're trying to pique interest, you're trying to keep the interest going, you're trying to drum up marketing for your product. So most people do that, right? So we're supposed to hand it over to children or morons from the outside who would destroy the company. Well, when people say that, right, they scared of an infusion of technology. They're scared of infusion of new ideas, right? So we're supposed to turn it over to children. They calling children guys that are 22 to 30, but they usually have innovative ideas, right? That's once again old people getting in the way, right? He doesn't want to turn a dying company, BlackBerry slash RIM, over to the children. The children's gonna bring you. Those are young people with innovative ideas, right? I always joke that if somebody would have brought me Snapchat with dog ears and stuff, I would have said that's the stupidest idea I ever seen, right? That's $1 billion company now, right? So sometimes you need younger people to come in to follow what's the new trend, to follow what's what's happening, right? If you told me, which I did, if you told me 5 years ago, people on YouTube, shout out to TLA, making 20 grand a month and 5 grand a month, or even 100 grand a month. Meet Kev said he was making. He's does real estate. He actually makes more money on his YouTube talking about real estate than he does selling real estate. He's making 3 million a month on YouTube talking about real estate. Now, if you told me 5 years ago you gonna be on YouTube making killer money, I'd be like, oh, that's stupid. That ain't gonna never work, right? So sometimes you need innovative ideas to come in, and you need young people to come in and bring those ideas, right? Because they're gonna think a little differently, which is a positive thing. My eyes are starting to melt. I catch the rest of the week. Good night. Thanks for joining us here. I'm melting too. I'm right behind you. I probably got a little more. So too is once again, RIM is I think a perfect case study of when you get too big, you're not innovative. You over cocky, right? We call them grown people, even though they're young children, and right, you call them people with different ideas, morons, right? So you setting your company up to fail, right? This new thinking, new thought patterns, and and like I said, new ideas, right? Because if you brought me a Snapchat idea, I'd have been like, ah, that ain't gonna never make money, right? Because it's just a short form and different, right? Because when it first came out, people were just doing dog ears and cat ears and tongues, right? Now they kind of morphed it into something different, right? So once again, we're gonna RIP BlackBerry. Classic phones won't be supported after January 4th, 2022. So if you got it, you're gonna have to upgrade it, right? Because it's no longer gonna work. That's what I just want to do something short today. We got class tomorrow. We doing AWS, kind of doing the practitioner exam. So we're gonna do that tomorrow, Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely come and join us. Yeah, facts, facts, casual economists. I never would have thought TikTok would have blown up. They actually get more traffic than YouTube and Facebook. Now, I think TikTok is bigger than Google as far as traffic, right? So um, I'm still a little confused with that. I'm watching people dance and do weird stuff, and it's the number one thing. And I I need to check it out because similar to YouTube, you get paid off for advertising. They do a ton of advertisement on TikTok though. Right. I actually see the TikTok videos on YouTube, but yeah, casual economist. Shout out to economy. I love economics. I just couldn't figure out how to make money off of it. That's why I got an IT. I always said I was gonna go back and get my PhD in economics and teach it, but that's it. Like I said, I just wanted to send a shout out to I passed my Meta Network Fundamental Search that I failed the CompTIA Network Plus last week. That's cool, JM. Just get back in there and study. I'm sure it showed you what part you need to work on. I failed the CISP 10 years ago and never retook it. So I'll probably start studying. That'd probably be the class we're going to do in the summer, CISSP, because I'm studying for my AWS practitioner, and then I'm gonna study for my Security Plus. Then I'm gonna probably study for my CISP. I said that, so I need to get more motivated. So nah, JM, you're not the only one. Like I said, I've been in the game a long time, and I'm sure I'm gonna fail a little more. I don't retain information like I used to. It's hard for me to memorize stuff. So that's one reason I'm starting off with the AWS practitioner. I need to practice just test taking and studying and rememorization. I don't even know if that's the word. So I feel you, JM. I'm 53, man, so I don't retain information like I used to. So, throw any more questions in there. I was just wrapping it up. I just, for some reason, that hit me. Rest in peace, BlackBerry. Like I said, that's when I was skinny in 2007. So I remember everybody had them. So I just want to do a quick video on that. That was just reminiscing. See my little thumbnail right there. So I just made me think because I just remember the executives just sending emails. I didn't have a BlackBerry, so but I was always checking my email and they would put in the subject line EOM in the message. So if it was short enough, they would just put a message on it because they'd be driving, sending emails, which aren't just the safest thing. So they would be like, what was that? WTS? What's the status? Because I was working on a program for um, a company that builds shopping malls, and these dudes were putting their money up. So I would get a one-line a message, WTS, in the EOM, meaning in the message, meaning they just put it in the subject line, and they want to know the status of them purchasing land or soil sample or whatever. So facts, damn, BlackBerry was hot, man. They dominated. But once again, Apple came out and took them out the box, James. So that's what we were talking about when you becoming stagnant and your company's under and you're not innovative. Shout out to casual economists. If you don't see those new TikTok capabilities you need to be adding to your software, you could become a billion-dollar company and disappear in 10 years, right? Then Apple took over the game and they still been holding it down. But a lot of people worried that since Steve Jobs passed, um, what have they came out with that was innovative? Now they keep iterating on top of it and making their product better, but hasn't been a generational product that they came out with. The rumor is they're supposed to be making a car to go up against Tesla, so that's going to be interesting. Since they're a technology company, Tesla's a technology company, to see the Apple self-driving car was the rumor that they were coming out with. So I think Apple's trying to make that next big innovative leap, right? Because when you're trying to build a car, especially one that's self-driving, there's a lot of innovations come out there. Tesla battery technology is out this world, and I think that's going to be a hidden gem of theirs that people are not really looking at. They're looking at the car part, the optics to get a car to self drive and the new battery life is I think is what they're doing is off the chain. So once again, I'm doing class tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Going over AWS, super beginning part of AWS, the practitioner, getting our feet wet because the cloud is not in the future, it's here. And I believe that's the next bag, right? There's so much, all the companies are trying to get to the cloud, right? So that's definitely a skill to have. And two is I always put the cybersecurity spin on it. That's kind of my background. So always doing that. So I want to thank y'all for joining me. Like I said, I usually don't do lives at 10 p.m. at night. Like I said, I saw it about 4 or 5 hours ago, and I just had a feeling I want to go live and talk about BlackBerry. Like I said, for a number of reasons. The thing is, make sure you're getting the new technology skills, which you got isn't old because there could be a technology leap and you could be left in the dark, right? BlackBerry programmers don't make money anymore, right? So that move, you gotta get your Apple native game on and get your Android programming on. Specifically Android in the cloud, right? Because everything is connected to the cloud. So that's all I got. I want to wish everybody a happy new year. We're gonna chop it up. I think Monday I'm gonna talk about the new things or some additional things going on with my channel. Nothing big. I'm gonna interview people more, do programming classes a little more, stay on AWS, and I'll probably do a beginning cybersecurity class like I did at the beginning of last year. Because for those that don't know, I'm actually a professor in real life, even though my university is getting on my nerves. So I think I'm a probably just switch and just teach on YouTube 100%. Take my classes from that university and actually put them on YouTube and do a learning management system with it. So we could do the YouTube class, and you could take tests and quizzes on my learning management system, um, like the ones you use at university. So I probably spin one of those up this year. So if you want to get certified, I'll actually have practice questions, practice quizzes, and exercise on my learning management system. So once you join my channel, then I'll send you the password to get into the learning management system, and that'll kind of be included with subscribing to my YouTube channel. So that's what I'm thinking about. I want to put too many promises out there like they did, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I've been teaching for 10 years, and it's just too many administrative tasks they putting on me now. In my old age, I get old and grumpy. I get old and grumpy. But once again, come and check out us class at Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's beginning AWS. We just talking about different services and getting ready for the AWS practitioner. So I'm using this to get ready for that. Start studying and hopefully take that test at the end of this month. That's my goal, but I, I got to do a better job of studying. So I'm out. Once again, everybody have a happy new year, even though this is the first. Set your goals. Shout out to Citizen Lou. Let's get them. Make sure they're actionable and you can get there and make it happen because there's just so many things to get out there. If you get the skills, the technology, I think the tech guys are getting it together. I'm hoping to do projects where once you do these projects, you can actually use those for real world experience, so you can actually put them on your resume, right? And I'm challenging some guys to make that more useful, and YouTube because I've been doing it 30 years, so I know what projects to do for you to get experience, for you to get a real job. So I'm challenging myself to do that to help YouTube and YouTube community, especially people trying to get on. Shout out to CL. So that's it. Once again, shout out to BlackBerry, RIP, end of life, innovation always wins. So you got to stay current. Check out the replay. Old people about to take a nap. Like I said, I see you at my 3 p.m. Eastern AWS beginning class. Everybody have a happy holiday and a happy new year, man. 2020.